Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today we are covering, after long wait, the VelociPastor. Which, it's kind of like Jurassic Park, where this is going to be one of those loose movies where it's like, we're considering it horror, but others might not. Anyways, but this was requested by JD. Thank you so much, JD, for the request. I'm sure...
Thanks.
Yep.
Why do you hate me?
But before we get into the review and hear Jess's rage, let's grab our cups and talk about tea.
Yes. That's me. So we are having the same tea again. It is from our affiliate Plum Deluxe. And this one is the buttery shortbread herbal tea. So this one is no caffeine. And it is honeybush tea, cocoa peel, blackberry leaves, and flavor essences. So, yeah.
I will be honest and say I'm a little bit nervous about this one.
It smells so good, though.
It does smell good.
I know you were concerned about the buttery.
Yeah, the fact that it's like buttery shortbread.
Yeah.
But
I think it's more just the scent and the sweetness. But we'll see.
Yes, we will see. It does smell good.
I get your hesitancy because I think it was a Republic of Tea.
No, it was a high calf. Or no, that is by Republic of Tea. But yeah,
I thought so.
Republic of Tea had a coconut one.
Yeah, and that one you could really taste like a lot of coconut oil, and the consistency of it just didn't sit well.
I actually, this doesn't happen unless the tea expires for me, but I actually had to throw that one out. It was disgusting.
It wasn't the best. They have many other very, very good teas, but I definitely get your hesitancy after that one.
Yeah, so I have faith, though, in Plum Deluxe that they will change my mind.
Yeah, we haven't really had a bad one from them before, and it smells really good.
Yeah, it does kind of smell like a just baked pastry. Yes. But thank you, Plum. Man, I messed it up. Let me start off.
We're tired. We just ate.
Yeah, we're kind of comatose right now.
A little bit.
But we just wanted to shout out a big thank you to Plum Deluxe for allowing us to continue to do what we love.
And for fueling our addiction.
Yes. And then for our tea suppers out there, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. So, the VelociPastor. It's about this priest who loses his parents, and he gets like attacked by these ninjas when he goes to China, and gets and he finds this. It's either a tooth or a claw. I'm assuming
a tooth.
It's a claw. I don't know. It looks like it's a claw.
It looked like a tooth.
Anyways, regardless, but because he cut himself on it, it causes him to become a velociraptor, and so he decides to use his power, and and kill all of the bad people while still doing his priestly duties in the Catholic Church. What? I know, it's a stupid premise, but that's the point. It's a stupid movie. Anyway.
We'll get there.
I'm so excited for this. So for entertainment, I'll just be upfront. I would rate this a 7 because I just feel the judgment emanating from you.
This is definitely more your cup of tea than mine.
Yes. But, I just love... I mean, I have a certain threshold, but I really love dumb movies, and this is the one. This is one where they really lean into the dumb. Like whenever his parents die in the beginning of the movie, instead of having a car on fire, it just says video effects car on fire. Like it just in print on the screen says that, and the effects are terrible, and then the acting's terrible. Just everything about the movie is terrible, but it's such an experience. Like the oh man, it's hard to explain. It's just like there's a pimp that you meet, and his name is Frankie Mermaid, and he's like, "Why is my name Frankie Mermaid?" And one of the girls,
Call girls.
is
Working
like,
girls.
because you're swimming in bitches. And it's just, like, it's a stupid joke, but it's like, that's the type of humor that you can expect with this movie. Just, like, lots of strange, over-the-top, like, yeah, just, it's crazy. But, for me personally, in a good way, in a funny way, that makes it entertaining. But I guess a nitpick is obviously a very low budget movie. And so the priest costumes are very terrible. It's like, you can just tell that they probably walked into Party City and got whatever priest costume was available.
I don't know if they even got it from Party City. They might have just walked into like a Goodwill store and got a costume that was probably from Party City at one point.
Yeah. I mean, it's still the beginning part is still it's some sort of costume, like obvious costume. And to me, like the vibe of the movie, as far as like the priest killing bad guys and him transforming, I kind of got like Death Note meets the Wolfman type of vibes. Because it's like, you know, he transforms into a velociraptor, or a velociraptor, so it's like he's a werewolf, and then him wanting to kill bad guys, it's like Death Note. I'm not saying it's clever. I'm not saying it's clever at all. But if you want to kind of get the mood...
I felt like the Death Note thing was a bit of a stretch. I kind of see where you're coming from now.
But he's killing bad guys!
I see where you're coming from now, but initially I was like, what?
No, it's not like, I will fight Kira, and then...
I was so confused for a moment there.
But yeah, it's one of those movies that doesn't take itself seriously at all, which for me personally helps with the humor. There are a lot of mistakes, like actors laughing, and then costume malfunctions. Like there's this part where this doctor sits down, and I forgot what the thing is. It's like doctors don't even wear that headband thing anymore with the little mirror thing, but he sits down and it just covers his eyes, and whenever he brings it back up and he's talking, he's smiling. You can tell that he's like, oh crap. And it's like, I don't know how many takes they did, but it seems like this was an almost one take type of movie. Like they're just like, as long as it's not completely ruined, let's just keep going and filming this. But
small mistakes are fine. Keep going.
Yeah. So, but for me personally, it kind of adds to the charm of the movie. But I definitely do admit full-heartedly that this movie is not for everyone. And if you do not like B movies or stupid movies, you absolutely will not enjoy this movie. But if you do enjoy stupid movies, then I think this is worth the watch. But Jess? Uh-oh. Brace!
So I give it a 3.
Higher than I thought.
It's better than Santa Jaws.
She actually did laugh a few times, too.
But it's still utter crap. There are some bad movies that are still decent and entertaining, like Studio 666, like Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, where you can have humor and it can be stupid funny, but there's a limit. And this one was just bad. And they knew they were bad and they leaned into it, which is kind of nice. Like they made a lot of it into a joke on purpose, but they also kind of leaned into it a little too hard. A little bit. Go ahead.
I'm scared. It still feels so warm.
Well, then give it another minute. Like,
it's not buttery. Thank God.
I had a feeling it wouldn't be.
Like, it's not like... I still can taste the coconut, just like with the other tea, but this does not taste oily and
There's
disgusting.
no coconut in here.
Oh, I thought there was.
No, there's cocoa peel.
Maybe it's the cocoa peel then. Because it's like you do get kind of the coconut oily smoothness or aftertaste. I don't know. It's hard to describe. But the point is, it's good.
It's all that matters. Yeah, so it's a very, very low budget film for sure. The scenery that they use, like the different locations that they use, are just... They definitely pick, like, local places, which I get, you know. Traveling costs money, a lot of money. So I get it. But even, like, the costumes that they used, like the ninja outfits for China and all, it's just...
Yeah, it's kind of like borderline questionable on whether
borderline
or not
racist.
Yeah, on whether or not it's
a little
racist.
bit.
Yeah.
So it just seemed like...
But, like...
Not even a good, stupid, funny kind of... It's not. It's just not... I was in pain most of the movie. There were a couple of things that did get a laugh out of me, but a lot of it was, it's just so bad. And just laughing because it's so bad. Really, just... It also bugs me that some of the blood effects or, like, the contacts that they used for his eyes and all, those were decent. Like, they did put effort into some of it, and that did help. It really did. But in other scenes, the effects were just awful. Especially when they actually show the Velociraptor. Oh my God, that was so bad. It was so bad. This hunchback T-Rex looking crap with a giant gaping hole in the bottom that looked like about where his ass would be. And it was awful. It really was. Like, with this type of movie where it's bad and it knows it's bad, I feel like they did it a bit of a disservice with the costume, quote unquote, for the Velociraptor itself. I feel like it would have been a hell of a lot better and funnier and a lot more enjoyable if they used those inflatable T-Rex costumes.
Yes, because the costume that they used, it didn't seem like a Velociraptor.
It didn't look like a Velociraptor at all.
Like, whenever you mentioned that while we were watching it, I'm like, man, I feel like we're missing out on something. That's
yes, like if you're gonna use something that doesn't even look like a Velociraptor anyway, at least use something like that, where it would have made it 1,000 times funnier. Would have still been super stupid, but it would have been 1,000 times funnier.
Yeah, for sure.
So I feel like they kind of missed an opportunity there. It was extremely cheesy, and a lot of the different things that they were putting in the plot didn't make that much sense. Like, why were there ninjas at all?
Because they were a part of a Chinese Christian ninja,
which didn't make sense.
Trying to spread Christianity through the world. Yeah, it wasn't
through use of drugs.
Yeah,
it didn't make sense. none of it made any sense. Like, this is not how any of this works. The most enjoyable scene to me had Voltaire.
That was by far one of the best scenes in the movie.
Which...
I mean, he's so dramatic, you know?
I admit part of it was colored by my love of his music. So I was just kind of fangirling a little bit anyway. And he did make it funny. Like, he knew it was a crap movie, too. And he just leaned into it. But he did it in a good way.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
So, like, he didn't take it too far. Yeah. It was at least decent.
Like, he was eccentric.
Yeah.
It was, like, a very, like, as a character with personality, like, he essentially played himself. It's like, if you watch his YouTube channel,
he's a little extra.
Like, yeah.
But it's great, and it's fun to watch, and also his scene was definitely the best out of the whole thing. But otherwise, like, the acting was just bad. A lot of the plot points didn't make sense. Like, that whole flashback with the other priest in Vietnam.
That was dumb.
That made no sense and didn't add anything to the plot at all. Like, they could have cut out that whole section and it wouldn't have made a goddamn difference.
Yeah, like, the only reason why they had it is he's thinking, oh, the last time that I was with Altair, it was, but it's like,
and they didn't even bring him into it.
Yeah,
it added absolutely nothing.
This isn't a very focused movie.
It's not. I don't know if they even had an editing room or if some of it got lost in that editing room or what, but it was just so disjointed.
It felt like they were making things up as they went, honestly.
It really did. It just... So, yeah, that's mostly what I have for the entertainment. It's definitely not my cup of tea. It is definitely better, in my opinion, than Santa Jaws.
See, which was awful. Like, Santa Jaws, well, okay, anyways.
But I'm not going to be going back to this movie. Which we kind of knew going in.
Yeah.
Because this type of movie is just not my thing. But
I feel like this is your, like, Green Inferno moment.
Yes, probably.
Because it's like, I am just as horrified about, like, the super gory, like, cannibalism movies as you are about stupid movies.
I was perfectly fine with Green Inferno. That didn't really bother me that much. But this movie... Why do you hate me? Why, JD?
We love you, JD.
I don't know what I did to make you angry. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Please get this over with.
Have you tasted it yet?
I haven't.
Oh.
I've been ranting.
Yes.
This is nice.
You think so?
Yeah. You can really taste, like, the floral notes on the back.
But you get what I had.
Yeah, it's like almost a creamy type black tea.
Yeah.
Without adding cream to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's literally leaf juice and water, it feels more, is it like viscous? It feels more viscous than water.
That is what tea is leaf juice.
I know! That's why I was saying it. Like, it feels like there's almost like a little bit of milk as far as, like, the thickness.
But the consistency itself is still the same as regular tea, so...
Yeah,
But it's like a softer black tea.
It must be like the cocoa peel. That
probably.
That's like the only thing I can think of that impact that.
It's really good. It's like a good level of sweetness too for this type of tea.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really need anything.
Yeah.
This is good. I like this one.
But so for realism, I mean this is like Lamageddon. This is going to get the low of the low. Not quite a 0, but pretty close. I would rate this a 1.
I think that's accurate.
So, just a little nitpick. Like the locations, them saying that he was in China when he was obviously not in China. Not only did that take away from the realism, and I understand, it helps add like character to the fact that it's a bad movie. But since we're talking about realism, I feel like it could have easily been fixed if they had just put a location in the US.
Yeah.
And just kind of modified it.
I mean, it could have still been a Chinese sect. It could have just been based in the US.
Yeah, like they could still have like the ninjas and all of the borderline racist tropes.
Didn't need it.
But it's just yeah. But anyways, so the kind of moving on though, one of the biggest things that took away the realism for me, aside from the fact that the priest can transform into a velociraptor and there's magic and ninjas and stuff, is the fact that it's very obvious that either the writer or the director or whoever was like doing the dialogue, they did not understand the Catholic Church at all. A lot of the things that they're mentioning is more like what evangelical type of Christian would believe. Like he mentions in not believing in evolution. And while I'm sure there are Catholics that don't believe in evolution, the Catholic Church head in general, they believe in a theistic evolution. And even in Catholic schools, they teach evolution. And the Catholic Church does have a history of helping like educate and spread science. Now, the little nitpicks and stuff like that, we're not going to get into that thing, but I'm saying as a general statement, they tend to believe that faith and science can coincide. It's not one or the other. So it was a little bit, it's like, I feel like if you're going to lean into the fact that he's a Catholic priest, that you would do at least a basic Google search on what Catholics truly believe. Also, I mean, I guess this is more of a general Christianity type of thing, but the fact that the priest is okay murdering, despite whether or not the person is bad, in Christianity, murder, regardless of who, is a bad thing. Like, you're not supposed... Like, it's one of the 10 Commandments.
Talking about when he's panic rationalizing it.
Yeah. Yeah, so as far as... It's like, I understand it's supposed to be a play on words. It's like, it's VelociPastor. But it's like, if you're going to lean on that, then come up with a reason. Like, he could transform and just be able to uncontrollably like murder like bad people or whatever, and then as a priest he's like really fighting. He's like, this is wrong, I shouldn't do this, but then like having it switch back, so it's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde type of situation, rather than him being like, okay, I'm okay murdering people, and then him transforming. It's like, I feel like there could have been an easy fix for that.
Yeah, he definitely could have been like horrified by his actions and confessing and repenting for his sins and trying to quote even more from the Bible and all, but yeah, I don't think they even thought that part through, like most of the movie.
Yeah, so for me, there's a difference between funniness and laziness, and like the video effects, like car on fire, like that was just kind of funny because it kind of like jars you. But I feel like when it's something like this, where it establishes the lore of the characters, it definitely is something that you shouldn't play around. Like, you need to make it a little bit more believable if you're going to play around and not be too serious about other things. It's like, it's a balance. It's like, you shouldn't have a 100% completely stupid movie.
No.
Like, it's really, like we've said in I think the Studio 666 review, it's about balance. So, and that was just kind of crossing the line for me.
It does.
Personally.
Yeah, it definitely breaks what little immersion they had.
Yep.
And it was very little to begin with.
Yep. And then, of course, the deaths, the injuries, they are not very realistic.
Or the aftermath.
Or the aftermath.
None of it.
None of it's realistic that much, so, yep, that's all I got.
Yeah, one's accurate. The things that were accurate are him thinking more with a different part of his anatomy than his brain.
But he's a priest.
He's a human.
I know.
He's a human hetero male. Like, that's... I mean... I could see that happening. That's pretty realistic there. That's about it. That's about it. I could see some types of people panic rationalizing, especially when they want to get with a girl, about, you know, this is fine, especially if the attractive girl is telling him, yes, this is fine. You can still do this. This is okay. Mm-hmm. You can still kill people just so long as they're bad people. You can be the anti-hero. But for a priest, it really didn't make sense. Yeah. Unless he was... I mean, they tried to make it sound like he was questioning his faith to begin with, after his parents were killed. But if you're going to go that direction, then have him leave the church. As soon as he decides, you know what, yes, this is what I'm doing. Don't have him stay with the church and still try to be a priest and all, when that goes heavily against your views in that religion. So,
Yeah, and I feel like, because after his parents die and he goes to China, it kind of makes it seem like he did leave the church. And they could have just kept that going. It's like, you can still make it VelociPastor because he was a... But, you know, okay.
He wasn't even a pastor. He was a priest.
Yeah, I just kind of... It's like, oh my God, they say pastor. They didn't even need to make him Catholic. They can just make him like a Baptist or something. And then that would make even more sense with the title of the movie.
It would have.
He's not even a pastor.
Well, yeah, and if he had left the religion, that's just what his former title was. And he could have still been a part of the congregation itself, but he didn't need to be one of the leaders of it.
But it's like, oh my God, it's like, I'm kind of curious to know if the director, maybe they didn't come from a Christian background or something.
Maybe.
Because the fact that you pretty much messed up like two different like sectors of Christianity. Like,
there's a lot of sects, but still.
I said sectors,
I know.
not sects.
I know.
Oh, okay. But anyways, the point is like, they effed it up. They like, sorry. It just like, now that it hit me, I'm like, oh my God. But, okay.
So also, I don't really see the pimp going in and confessing everything that he did, especially the murder that he committed in front of that same church. And I mean, even if there's a possibility of him talking to that same priest, like, why would you admit that openly if there's any chance of him actually being the son of that couple that he murdered? It doesn't make sense. I seriously doubt he would have done that. All of the smoking, like every single character smokes in that movie.
It feels like that's like 90% of what they spent their budget on.
Yes.
With cigarettes.
Yes.
I mean, cigarettes are expensive.
They are. But, and the costumes are just, which we've already mentioned, but I mean, jeans on the soldiers that are supposed to be in Vietnam? Really? No. No. They would have had gear. Full turnout gear. No. It just, The immediate exorcism Like, that's exactly what the priest jumps to, the priest friend jumps to, is, you're telling me this story, immediate exorcism, we need to contact the diocese. Like, not let's try to get proof or anything, or let's try to debunk it, let's see if maybe he's having a mental breakdown, nothing like that, just immediate, we gotta have an exorcism right now.
Yeah, because with the Catholic priests for exorcism, they try and rule out everything.
Yes, they require hardcore proof.
Yeah, like they go through science first,
Yes.
and then they're like, oh, okay. Yeah.
And in many places, like, they don't do exorcisms at all anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost outlawed. So it's extremely rare for there to even be talk of an exorcism. They try everything else first. He would have been committed first. And if he goes through that period and nothing is found or anything like that, or if he breaks out while in dinosaur form or whatever,
Like, oh, okay, we believe
then okay, yeah, maybe he's a demon. let's go ahead and get it done then. But again, they would require hardcore proof before that point. It would have been a process, not an immediate jump. So, no.
Plus, it's weird that it was the Christian ninjas that had that power to begin with.
Yeah.
So how would an exorcism... I mean, the exorcism didn't work, but it's like, why...
So that was going to be my next point,
Oh.
was that even when he's like, we need an exorcism right now, when they took him to Voltaire, or Altair, it was a seance that they were doing, not even an exorcism. Like,
Yeah.
be consistent at least.
It's like, were they
Like, what are you
purposely trying
doing?
to, mix up, religion?
They were just effing up everything.
I think that... Didn't they even have tarot cards?
Yeah.
And I don't think Catholics would use tarot cards. I think they think it's satanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's outside of the Christian religion also. No. Well, they also, at the seance table, they had a statue that was Egyptian. Like,
Yes!
what are you doing?
They're like, let's just mix all
Everything. Absolutely everything, with no regard to any specific religion.
Yeah.
None of it made sense.
I mean, maybe they did it on purpose. Like, they're like trying to stir the pot. but
Maybe.
it's
I
hard
don't
to
know,
tell.
but none of it made sense. And if you're going to try to make commentary like that, do better. Like,
Yeah, like, make it obvious.
yes. So it just, all of it was just badly done. Even to the point of, like, when he first got the tooth thing, or claw, but whatever it was, the piece of the dinosaur, it's a completely rounded fossil. There's no really sharp edges or anything, except maybe the point, or at the end where it was somewhat jagged looking, I guess. But he cut it on, like, the side, the rounded side, for no reason, with, like, no prompting or anything. Like, all of it is bad. Just no to all of it. None of it. No. I'll leave it there. I'll just leave it there. I'm done.
So if you're like Jess and you don't like dumb movies, then do not watch it. Or if you're like me and are okay with stupid movies, I think it's worth one watch at least. But
I could have lived my whole life without seeing it.
it is a lot. It is one of those movies where it's better to watch it with a friend. I mean, I think I think as a blanket statement, it's easy to say, or it's best to say, is like, if it's a stupid movie, watch it with friends. So, but yeah.
That is fair, because I probably would have just rage quit if I had to watch it on my own.
Yeah. See, I watched it by myself and I was cracking up. But thank you, everyone who joined us today, and comment on what you thought of the movie. If you would like to keep up to date with our content or recommend a movie or tea for us, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and most places that you listen to podcasts.
If you'd like to support our podcast monetarily, we do have a donate button available. We also have merch on our website. New merch is available with more to come.
Yes.
Once we finally get on designing it. And we do also have our affiliate link for Plum Deluxe down below as well in the description there somewhere.
Down below the video.
And until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy. Bye!